Hello and welcome to Ideas with Impact podcast. Today, I would love to welcome Stephanie Rimka to the show. She is a chiropractor and a healer who adopts her approach to meet her clients' unique needs. With the background in mental health and expertise in neurofeedbacks, she helps unlock the body's potential. Welcome, Stephanie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. It's snowy today.
Oh,
Up north in Canada. I would love to ask you if you can explain the concept of brain optimization and why is it important for our mental health?
well, optimization is a unique word, right? So we're trying to go to optimal, not barely surviving. So there's a very different group of people that want to upgrade to the best of who they can be. That's optimization. Most people are functioning from more of a survival place and disease management. So optimization is not concussion recovery. It's not management of dementia. It's not treating ADHD. So optimization takes me to the next level. However, I typically have to deal with concussions or traumatic brain injuries, seizures, ADHD, learning disorders, insomnia, anxiety, PTSD, whatever. All of these are housed in the brain. Mental health is brain health. It just comes from no other place. That is the issue. So if you don't treat the brain, you don't look at the brain, you don't measure the brain, you are not helping someone with their mental health. So that's where it starts. And traditional medicine doesn't do any of that. They don't test for anything. They don't image anything. They don't do it. That's not what psychiatry is taught. They don't believe in brain equals function. Brain equals behavior. It's not a postulate that drives them, but it is the postulate that drives me. I'm board certified in neurofeedback. That's what we think. That's what we do. I'm trained by a Canadian physician, Dr. Abram Hoffer. He's no longer with us, but he's the founder of orthomolecular psychiatry. He was like, if you aren't doing tests to measure brain function, how are you supposed to treat it? So, and all mental health is coming from some dysregulation there. The brain is a closed system. There's a blood-brain barrier. What's happening in the brain is not happening in the entire body. I don't need to look at how much, magnesium is in your big toe to know what to do with your brain. The magnesium in your toe doesn't affect the magnesium in your brain. It's not how it works. So all the serotonin in your brain is made in your brain. Like, that's what people don't understand. So all the cholesterol in your brain is made inside your brain, right? So the brain and the body are not connected in the way people want to think they are. There's a barrier to that. It's supposed to be. Now, sometimes we poison ourselves in such a way that we destroy the barrier, and then toxins get in there that never should have been there. And then when we have a brain that's inflamed and on fire, boy, do we have behavior that is inflamed and on fire. And we usually call that mental illness.
Is this something that because we've been so exposed to so many environment toxins, all these chemicals that we lather on our bodies, would that also infect our brain?
Yeah. There's a million of them. There's hundreds of thousands of chemicals that are created and put into the air, the water, the food, injections, drugs, vaccinations, surgical procedures. So just going under anesthesia, you go hypoxic, you go low oxygen, it's brain damage. People, I know patients, they've come in, they've had 3 or 4 ear tube surgeries by the time they were 5 years old. Those are traumatic brain injuries, but their parents weren't told that. So, and I'm the one dealing with that the kid can't read. I'm like, yeah, there's a reason for that.
Right.
Because we have brain damage. And I need to, and nobody addressed that or told you that that's what was going to happen by cutting into a child under anesthesia. Because anesthesia is putting someone in a state of you're almost dead while we cut into you.
So
the body remembers everything, by the way. That just because you can't remember it doesn't mean the body doesn't remember everything about it.
Right.
It stores it. So that's just, there's the amount of chemicals that people ingest is almost obscene. So that's one factor, right? So we're going to have toxicity that's causing erratic problems, and it also causes nutrient deficiency. It causes structural damage. It makes the barrier leak. You're not supposed to have a leaky blood-brain barrier. Mercury is not supposed to get inside. but it can. Okay. Then we have nutrient deficiencies. So nutrient deficiencies are incredibly root cause of a lot of mental health problems and brain dysfunction. The brain, again, only needs so many things. If it doesn't have it, it can't work. So that barrier is designed to let certain things in and certain things out. And it's supposed to be a very strong guard of what that is. And some of those things that are supposed to get in, magnesium, zinc, DHA, several B vitamins are very, very critical, carnosine. If these things can't get inside of the choline, if they can't get there, you're going to have problems. And it'll look like a disease to people. They'll call you crazy. And they'll drug you for it. When you might have only needed zinc and copper, but they're not testing you for that.
Yeah, it's such a simple yet so complicated things. I think that people find it difficult to, again, maybe because a lot of us have been brainwashed in so many ways.
Yeah, because you don't know that zinc is important.
Right.
You don't know that, right? I just could see it on your face. You're just like, I don't know that.
Yeah.
So people think when their child has ADHD, they have an Adderall or Ritalin deficiency.
Yeah.
No, they don't. Why don't you? And when I say that, when they come in, I go, well, what tests did they do to prove this to you?
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, okay. So they didn't take an image, they didn't do a CT scan, an EEG, an MRI of the brain, and they drew no blood and no urine whatsoever. Nope. And they gave you a prescription for cocaine or methamphetamines. Highly addictive, and we all know it. Oh, okay. Yeah. That sounds like great healthcare. Yeah.
So how can we educate people? What do you do? How do you interact with clients to let them know that these changes that they can make themselves or with help are so, I don't want to say simple because sometimes it can be simple, but they're available there for them.
They're simple. Simple doesn't mean easy. They're very simple. It's very simple. This is 100% simple. Let me make it clear. Being healthy is simple. But people don't always do simple. They like complicated. Eating well is not complicated. Moving well is not complicated. Sleeping well is not complicated. Stress management, it's actually not complicated at all. These are simple things. Doing simple things consistently and with discipline, there's your challenge. All right? So you may have to choose, people choose comfort and convenience over simple all the time. So what I do with patients one-on-one, I take patients and their care with me is 6 to 12 months. I don't do 5-minute visits. I don't do McDonald's drive-through healthcare. I don't take any health insurance, and that's for a reason, because I don't want people who don't care. I don't want a copay. You will pay, you invest a lot of time and money with me. My first visit is 3 hours long. Every appointment is time. We have a lot. You must work with a health coach in my office, with me as well. You will get the labs that I want, or I will fire you. Like, I'm in charge. I'm not going to let an insurance company tell me how to practice. Now, Canada has a very different model. I used to take Canadian patients. I no longer can. It's way too difficult for me. I can't get the labs I want. I can't get the products I want. I can't work with it. It's becoming very hard. But as I'm here in America, and for 30 years, I've never taken health insurance. Since the day I opened, I've had 7 practices, 6 brick and mortars and a telehealth practice.
Right.
So, people who pull out a credit card to pay you, they're in it. They work.
Well, it's a commitment. So, it's like someone is really committing to their own journey of well-being at the end of the day.
I want empowered people. Sorry, I let my dog out. I don't want people feeling powerless and like they're victims. So my job is to help move them from any type of victimhood they may be in, of feeling powerless, to educating them. Most of my job is to deprogram them and educate them. So we offer tremendous resources. Now, I can't see everybody. And, it's just, I have a 6-month wait list. I have no desire. Please, nobody call me for care. I don't need more of you. I can't keep up with the demand. Nobody can. I have 3 other therapists that work for me. They do see, so yes, you can see some of them, but getting into me is almost impossible now. There's too many people to help. So the way I am doing most of that is that I offer a lot of online courses. So I record. I find I say the same thing 8,000 times a month. So eventually 10 years ago, they're like, why don't you just make a video about that? And you can say it one time and you can just send it to all the patients. I mean, because I go, if I have to say this one more time today, I think I'm going to lose it. If I have to explain how stupid sunscreen is one more time, I might lose it, right? I have to explain that cholesterol is good for you or that statin drugs cause ADHD and Alzheimer's. So how many times do I have to say the same thing? I don't enjoy repeating myself. So I record things and make courses. So I sell a lot of online courses with various topics, many, many, many topics that people can decide what they want. I also have a subscription membership, 3 different tiers that people can join so they can be live with me on Zoom or StreamYard, whatever platform we're doing, and be in community with me every single week. And based upon what tier they are, they get more engagement and interaction. I was on that last night for 3 hours. I just, with my VIP inner circle, they're called the inner circle, they're my VIP crew. I mean, we'll talk for hours sometimes. And I will go over, they ask me questions about peptides and labs. And I literally did a whole lesson on zinc and ADHD for them last night. They get everything before everybody else. So I do a lot of that. I do a tremendous amount of education for free all over Instagram and YouTube. I have thousands of hours of free content available for people. So that's how I do it. I speak on stages. I've spoken all over the world. I'll be, I fly and I teach continuing education to doctors. I'm trying to teach doctors what to do now. I speak to 3,000 doctors in 2 weeks. And it's like this, we have to rethink what you've been trained to do. Do this differently. So I'm more trying to do that at this point than more one-on-one. I don't want to talk about, that feeding your child Pop-Tarts and brownies for breakfast. Probably a stupid idea at this point. Like I'm kind of tired of that,
Yeah, you gotta set up your boundaries.
Yeah, it's just boring for me. I mean, but I have coaches that will do that.
What's the feedback you get from the doctors? Are they receptive to the information?
Oh yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Again, I'm going to only speak at places where they're coming to pay money because they're dissatisfied with what they're doing.
Right.
So they're like me. They're already eager and hungry. They know it doesn't work. So I'm not walking into the American Psychiatric Association, the American Pediatric Association. They hate me. They're never inviting me to come. They don't want to hear it because that cuts into their telling somebody to go to test for zinc for $49 and then take, zinc chromium, zinc picolinate, probably $100 for 3 months and retest for $49 in 3 months. It's really cuts into pharma profits.
Yeah.
Because you can resolve the whole problem right there.
Yeah.
So they're not interested. The big organizations, the traditional, they're bought and captured by pharma. Their whole job is to sell more drugs, not to sell zinc.
Yeah, Canada is the same. We're very similar when it comes to that kind of integration of pharmaceutical companies. Where here's your pill.
Every country is captured. I don't know one that's not.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but I see the change. There's definitely an awakening in humanity, asking questions, and more people coming like yourself, and really, like you said, educating and getting the information out there that there is so much more than just that pill, right? Sunlight, breath work, good nutrition, good sleep. Those are so important things for our longevity and life well-being. And, especially as women in our 40s and 50s, we don't have to age like our grandparents did. We're in a completely different, era. So
I would say my grandmother aged better than most women today. My grandmother died at 88. She didn't have a single problem with her. She had no dementia. She had no problems. She wasn't poisoning herself.
The food was different.
They were very different back then. Right. Now it's the generation after her that's a problem. It's my mother's generation and on, because they got my grandmother was born on a dirt floor in a farmhouse in Texas. No hospital. As soon as we started having babies in hospitals and you're supposed to give a formula and not breast milk. My grandmother's era, they didn't do all that. They all lived to be very old, and they didn't take a pill for everything. They're like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
What did my mother do when we had a fever? What her mother taught her.
Yeah.
Put a hat on them, put a blanket on them, give them hot tea, make the fever worse. I was never given Tylenol as a child for a fever. Now they just do it like, because my grandmother didn't, nobody did that.
Yeah.
You like make make them sweat it out. They made a fake sauna the way they would do in Sweden and Finland. That's all changed because what the Rockefeller Western medicine that has taken over every country, we call it what we want, they have convinced everybody that your body, when it's working to heal you, a detox signal is a sickness. A fever isn't a sickness. It's a cleansing process. A rash is not, it's a cleansing process. Vomiting is cleansing. Diarrhea is cleansing. You want that. If you eat something that's poisonous, you should throw it up. We suppress all of the natural healing responses. So the body, that's the cure. The fever is the cure. The cough is the cure. The sneeze is the cure. The vomit is the cure, right? They've tricked everybody into thinking the cure is the disease, and they give you a poison to stop the body from curing itself. And then you wonder why we're all super sick. I mean, so my family, my great-grandmother above her lived to be 102.
Yeah.
They were aging pretty well, as far as I'm concerned.
My grandma was 99 as well, and really good life. I originally am from Poland. I was raised there, and I came to Canada when I was 15. But it was same thing. It was very old style. Whenever
more
you
connected to
sick
nature,
or you had a fever, they would put wet socks on you.
Yeah, the wool sock. Yeah, it does draw the heat. Yeah, it does work.
And then you were in bed for 2-3 days. You sweat it out. I remember this as a child, as a 7-8-year-old child, where I would be like shivering and sweating, and the next 2 days I would be fine, running around. I'll be fine.
Yeah, that doesn't happen if you poison the body and break the liver down and it can't make glutathione. But
yeah. What is integrated listening system, and how does it work, for example, to support individuals with ADHD?
So Integrated Listening Systems is a company, and that's their brand. They've partnered now with another person and Unite. So it's like both terms because I've been with them for so long. I'm like, I got to get used to this new name, Unite. So they've expanded. So Integrated Listening Systems is based on the work of Tomatis. He was an ENT. So it's not Tomatis listening frequencies, but they do use Tomatis plus Dr. Porges's polyvagal theory. So he's a new partner in there as well. So it is a listening system that takes music and compresses and alters where the frequencies are to feed nourishment to the brain to change learning. So I'll say it like this is, again, things that people don't seem to know. Sound is a nutrient, and sound is nutrition in the ear, right? Sound feeds the brain, makes the brain grow. Sound is actually the primary healing form. Sound creates light. Sound is before light. So sound is, and it's twofold. We hear it through air pressure, airwave, like changes in pressure, as well as bone conduction. So it causes a vibration in us as well. So even me talking creates vibration right inside me, and it creates sound pulse waves and vibration, literal shock, which then creates light inside my body. This is not woo-woo. This is 100% how it actually works. Okay. We make systems now called shock wave and other things that are using sound to pulsate through, which create that inside the joint, which creates light, which creates healing. So we do use this stuff. So anyway, sound is actually so important. We learn to read through our ears. And if every teacher and every pediatrician and every stupid psychiatrist would learn this, we would stop this rampant dyslexia, ADHD, learning disorder, blah, 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 because none of them check the ears. They don't understand the mouth, the size of a child's jaw, where the tongue sits in the palate, and how they hear are critical to their learning and their mental health. If they're going to have a sensory integration disorder, if they're going to have an anxiety disorder, if they're going to have a reading disorder, because the ears, the auditory nerve, the sound comes in through that, it gets transduced into electrical activity. Literal electricity is made from air pressure. That's insane. That should be not possible. It's like magic. That charges up the brain. Your life force, your intelligence, everything is measured on how much voltage you have. When people are young, they have a lot of voltage. You can see it like, oh, they're so bright. Why do they seem like that? Because they're like a 12-volt battery. When you're on death's door, you can literally watch the electricity. That's how we measure if someone dies, by the way, is electrical activity in the brain. There's nothing there. They can't charge themselves. The battery, once the battery can't hold a charge, what do? We got to get a new battery. And a human, you're dead. The avatar is done. It cannot be recharged anymore. Okay? So sound is charging, and the ear controls the eye muscles. If the ear is not hearing properly, it can't help the eyes do the coordination to read, to look at a board, to make the letters make sense. It happens in the ears. So the ears and ILS is starting from a bottoms-up approach to the brain. So we start from the ears, and we start from the auditory nerve, and we're moving from here up to the cortex, as where neurofeedback is coming from the cortex, down. So we do both. I usually am using ILS first, and we usually use a program called Safe and Sound Protocol, because I have to make a person feel safe before I can do anything. So we work on their vagus nerve with Safe and Sound. Safe first. Get them safe, get them in their body, get them ready to then do the sound therapy. I can use it for attention and concentration. I can help with memory. The different frequencies go to different parts of the brain. So do I need to start here? And your ears open to different frequencies with age. A 3-year-old should never be hearing what a 13-year-old can hear. That's why a 3-year-old can't understand sarcasm. They cannot hear all the tonal inflection. Sound has information. So if I say, pick your bag up off the floor, pick your bag up off that floor. Volume was exactly the same, but the meaning was totally different.
It's the
People
tone.
whose ears are shut down, as in autism, they could not hear it all. It all sounds like pick your bag up off the floor. So they can't tell by hearing if someone's happy, sad, or mad. So then they have inappropriate social responses because they can't hear the social cue. You understand? So we open the ear up, we make the right frequencies come in, and I can measure the frequency coming into someone's ear. I've done it thousands of times through ILS software to tell you exactly when the physical and emotional traumas happen. I say, oh, something happened at 3 years old. Was there a trauma or an emotional? They're like, that's when my parents got divorced. I'm like, yeah. And that's when your ears physically shut down because the child went, I can't handle it anymore. Because mom and dad were screaming or something. And the kid went, and it physically shut them down. And then now they're missing pitches that they should be getting, which is nutrition for the brain and energy, so they're not learning as well. We can open that up with ILS.
That's a very interesting. I've nenever heard of it until I start reading on your website.
Most people have not. So they're my favorite lectures to give because I literally blow everybody's minds. I've done that for so many schools and principals. They would bring me in all the time. I'm like, you ready for it? That should be in every school system, and it should be in every nursing home. It's a travesty that this isn't common knowledge because that headset, they're so affordable and it's so easy. You know how easy it is to put a headset on and listen to music?
I also believe strongly in connecting with music through singing bowls, the different notes that you can hit that really, it's like penetrating your body. Like you said, it goes through your bones, right? You feel it. You feel that vibration. So I also enjoy that, putting it on my ears before going to bed to calm my nervous system for whatever reason happens throughout the day. Because we can get pretty riled up, and love it, enjoy it. Yeah. What are peptides?
There are, so short chains of amino acids. What does that mean? Little Lego pieces that make up proteins. So amino acids are the smallest little like pieces, right? So like this is amino acid, this is amino acid. If I put them together, now I have a dipeptide. Di meaning two. So this is a peptide with two amino acids. It's an arbitrary naming system. So we can say it's a peptide when you put two amino acids together. We put a lot. We say it's a polypeptide because there's a bunch. And eventually you hit to a certain level, about 150, we call it a protein. So this is a protein. My muscle is a protein. Bone is a protein. This is all protein that is made up of peptides. So the greatest peptide making lab on earth is the human brain. So I'm making peptides right now. I'm sending them all over my body to tell the system to do different things. There are thousands of them doing thousands of different functions.
And so how do peptides work, let's say in the brain? So when they send these signals to move your arm, for example, do they also work in conjunctive process of mental well-being? Like, what's the relationship?
So if you're making something in your brain, it's always going to be mental health because the brain is the master controller, right? And if it's right there, of course, it's critical. So, so peptides we make them, right? They're in plants, and my dog makes them. I'm making them. Now there's a class of peptides that we use clinically, and they're called therapeutic peptides. So peptide therapy, probably what you really were asking me about.
Yeah.
We can use them via intranasal, subcutaneous injection, IV injections, intramuscular, intrathecal, all kinds of ways, oral delivery systems, topical delivery systems, to help the body. So they're signal molecules, and they work in a variety of ways. They all work differently. Like one GHK copper, for example, that's a peptide you make. You can put copper on it, not put copper, GHK. And it's called GHK because those are just the letters that are the names for the three amino acids, right? So like some of the names they're like GHK, KPV. They're very strange. LL37, like they don't sound like names like Mary or Sally, because they're based on these configurations of the amino acids and how many and at what splice we do things. So it's really, that's kind of they're strange to remember. So let's say you've been compromised, you have been lots of toxin exposure or stress exposure, post-surgery, post-trauma, you got a leg blown off in an IED in Afghanistan. Well, we can give you peptides therapeutically that you're not making well enough to put in great signal to help the body regenerate, heal, immune response, whatever we want based on what peptides we know and what they do. So I have a whole class of them that are made from the thymus gland. Well, that's immune system. So am I going to use thymosin beta 4, thymosin beta 500, thymosin alpha 1? You make these things. We're just putting more into the body to help it if you have Lyme or mold or MS or whatever, right? To help your body perform better, because for some reason it's not doing a great job. Maybe from all the x-rays and MRIs or stress or poison, who knows, right? So we're helping you with that. So you can use them therapeutically. Some of them reverse damage on the DNA, make telomeres better. Some of them increase libido, some increase hormones, some regenerate skin. They're a wide variety of what we're going to use them for. So you have to know why you're doing it, what you're going to use it for, and that would determine how long and what the dose would be.
So is there any specific peptides that actually show promise in treating ADHD or an anxiety in the person?
Yes, but I don't even like to talk about that because 90% of the time it has nothing to do with a peptide. 90% of the time it's a nutrient deficiency or an inflammation from a poison. So I'm not going to give anybody a peptide for ADHD if they're drinking red Gatorade and having Pop-Tarts for breakfast.
Right.
You don't have ADHD. You have a poison problem. You have a nutrient deficiency. I'm going to test their zinc. I'm going to test their methylation. I'm going to test their B6, because 96% of all ADHD children are zinc deficient.
Mm.
And 80% of all ADHD is actually an auditory processing disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't go to a peptide. Absolutely not. I go to what's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And if they aren't making what they need to make, it's usually because they don't have zinc. They usually don't have DHA. They usually don't have good sleep. They usually don't have enough protein.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you start, not a peptide.
Mm-hmm.
Are there peptides that I use for cognitive health that help with attention and concentration or help with sleep? And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. There's entire classes of them.
So nutrition basically influence and plays a huge role to basically focus on it first before doing anything else.
Yes. Nutrient deficiency and toxicity trumps everything, as well as structural trauma, structural damage. I mean, sometimes people have come in and they've been diagnosed with ADHD and it was a brain tumor.
Right.
I saw it because their doctors are stupid and don't test anything. We ran an EEG. I'm like, something's wrong.
Right.
Something's wrong. I have dead tissue or something's happening. I need an MRI. I order the MRI. And we go, oh, there's a tumor. Okay. We need to deal with that. Right. Or we're like, there were strokes. Did you know you've had strokes? No. Well, you have. You know what I mean? Like, I've had people diagnosed with ADHD, you know, they had seizure disorders. Nobody knew it. I'm like, they have seizures. Okay. I've seen ADHD diagnosed, and you know what it was? Multiple personality disorder. Like, but see, you're not going to figure that out in a 5-minute visit and a checklist.
No.
So I don't go to use this peptide. Oh, try C-Link, you know, or something like that.
Yeah.
No. Because I'm not going to cover up something with something just because it makes you feel good. No, shouldn't we know what's going on?
It's not a fast fix. It's a process. It's a journey. If you want to,
I mean, I don't consider 2-3 months very long to, you know, and some of these things are not, yes, some of them, they are fast, but you have to ask the right questions. So are there things that we help people with attention and concentration? Yes. Do I use them a lot? Yes. So I use something called CMAX and Atomax a lot, but that's never going to compensate if someone's zinc is 50. I need the zinc to be 125. Like, so it doesn't matter. Why would you spend the money? I'm like, well, what you need is zinc. Like, get that first. And, you know, I would rather do neurofeedback for ADHD, not a peptide. Neurofeedback is way more effective.
What is neurofeedback?
Electricity is more powerful than a peptide because electricity makes the peptides. So you got to go deeper. You see, people want chemicals. I'm like, it's really a sound and electricity. They're way more important. So ILS is more important. Neurofeedback is more important. Magnetic therapies are more important. Transcranial direction, all of that's more important. Light therapy, photobiomodulation, sunlight. Most kids just need to eat better and be outside more.
Can you explain what neurofeedback is if someone doesn't know?
Yeah, sure. Neurofeedback is, so I'll talk. So do you remember, did you take any psychology in Pavlov's dogs?
My goodness.
So Pavlov did a big experiment when he rang bells and made dogs salivate.
No.
Okay. So then I won't talk about that. But so it's a learning tool for the brain. So what we do is basically hook up a person's brain to some electrodes, and we're looking at their brainwave activity. The brain is electrical. Okay. It's an electromagnetic, wet, saltwater conductive organ that communicates, it holds information. It's like a giant antenna. Okay. But it's doing it through electromagnetics. And we measure those from brainwaves, EEG, how many times your electricity goes like this. And so we have waves that are slow, delta, slow waves, theta, a little bit faster, alpha, a little bit faster. Then we go low beta, mid beta, high beta, and gamma. So they go from slow to fast. So every brainwave, delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma, they're associated with a specific hormone or neurotransmitter. You have to have delta to make growth hormone. If you don't have enough, we can measure. They don't make enough. So we go, well, you probably don't sleep well. No, probably have body pain. Yeah. Probably they can't recover and repair. No. Yeah, it's not rocket science. You can't do it. I can see it. So my job is to help them make more If they make too little of something or too much of something, they're going to have symptoms because the brain waves are creating the peptides. They're creating dopamine and serotonin and acetylcholine and growth hormone, right? You make too much or too little of anything, you're going to be out of balance and you're not going to work right. So we measure, well, how much are you making and where are you doing it? And is it in the right place? So you might make enough theta, but if you make it in the front of your brain where you're not supposed to, you're walking around like you're in a fog, meaning you're daydreaming or falling asleep in class in the front, and we call that ADHD. All I have to do is push away the theta in the front, put it where it's supposed to, and help you make beta again. Now suddenly you can pay attention. But see, why you give a stimulant, why does giving cocaine to a hyperactive child settle them down? I can tell you, it's not rocket science. We 100% understand why. Because real ADHD, attention deficit, is way too much slow wave in the front of the brain. It is too much delta, theta, or alpha where it shouldn't be. So the child is falling asleep neurologically all day. And so just like what I do, if I'm tired driving, what do? Okay, roll the window down, put some music on. I have to stimulate so I don't fall asleep and kill people and myself, right? We all have done that. Tired. Oh, God, put the music on. Somebody, I got to stay awake. And we might even talk to ourselves. I've done this. That's what a child is doing. That's what the nervous system is doing. So it's making them hyperactive because they know they're not supposed to be falling asleep, but they can't make the cloud fog of those slow waves go away. Neurofeedback can do it in 40 sessions almost every single time, no problem. We're so good at it, it's ridiculous.
And would they need that on upcoming sessions, or this is only they can do it, let's say 10 times and they're done?
I just said 40 sessions.
You constantly would
40 sessions.
Pardon me?
I just said it's 40 sessions.
40 sessions.
So for the brain to something to be permanent, we're going to leverage what's called neuroplasticity. You must do something over and over and over again to make it become permanent. The good news is the brain is neuroplastic. Anything you do repeatedly is permanent. The younger you are, the easier and the faster this is. However, if I have poison in the way, lead, mercury, traumatic brain injuries, if I'm inflamed with sugar and alcohol, this is harder. Drugs, cocaine, benzodiazepine, Adderall, all of it is harder when I'm inflaming the brain with a poison. I mean, period. It's just how it is. And certain drugs like marijuana and weed cause theta and alpha to rise. They cause attention deficit. So if someone's smoking weed, when they come in, and I always have to ask what drugs they're taking, right? I'm like, listen, I don't care what you're doing. I need to know the truth. Are we on meth, cocaine, alcohol? I have to know the truth. I don't care. I'm not reporting you. Listen, but kid, I need to know what's going on here. Don't lie. If they're smoking weed 4 nights a week to go to sleep because they have insomnia. Okay, I don't really care because I'm working on insomnia. That's not a big deal to me. Okay. If they're smoking weed and they come to me for ADHD and I see that's what we're trying to do, I can't help you. You have to stop smoking weed. I'm never going to override that strong of an input. If they're doing cocaine and they're anxious and they want me to fix their anxiety. Well, cocaine causes beta. Well, their anxiety is coming from too much beta. I can't push the beta down while you're still doing cocaine. I mean, it's not going to work. It's like, how can I get you sober if you're still drinking alcohol? It's not going to work. So again, we can start training, and if they're addicted, we deal with that. I have a lot of drug addicts I work with and alcoholics. We can still start the process, but they have to know they're going to have to change that behavior. If they're not willing, I'm not going to do it. But you must do something 2 to 3 times a week consistently, and you must do it for a certain amount of sessions. 40 hours is pretty much the clinically proven sweet spot. So we usually do 30-minute sessions. So it's about 40 sessions. That is, there are thousands of published studies showing that we do this and we do it effectively. We have the highest alcoholism success rate of any therapy in the world. And yet they still recommend AA, which has a 3% success rate. And we're at 80% or 90% success. It makes no sense to me. None of it. Well, this is why it makes sense. It's not a pharmaceutical drug. And once we complete it, it's permanent and you don't need to keep coming. But you do have to come for a certain amount of sessions for it to be. So I would never take somebody for 10 sessions. You are not allowed to see me for under the amount of sessions required, and you will prepay and commit to the whole thing. See why that's why I don't get people who quit. Mm-hmm. We get the problem solved because you will commit and we're going to get it done. Mm-hmm. And if I say this is 80 sessions, this is going to take a long time. I had a new patient, 27 concussions he's had. Oof. Pro fighter. Literally fights for 30 years, for punched, broken bones, broken back, several surgeries, 27 recorded concussions. Do you think I'm going to fix that in 40 sessions? No. Right. Plus, drinks like a fifth of vodka a couple nights a week. Yeah. And because of pain has been taken, it's a lot, right? So it's going to take me much longer to get that done, but we can do it. Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? You got to be realistic with what you're asking the body to do and what we're pushing in. So we have to be consistent and we have to continue. It's like working out. You can't go to the gym 10 times and say, well, I'm in shape now. Probably doesn't work that way, right?
Well, maybe some people, I don't know about you, but not me. That's for sure.
No, it doesn't work that way. It's 100% some people. It's 100% not, because here's the muscles will regress. Absolutely. Good news about your brain is it won't. When we end neurofeedback, if we're going in the right way, we actually pause and say, actually, you're going to keep upgrading now that we're done. Mm-hmm. That's not what happens with your thighs. You stop lifting, they're going to go back, not the brain. So, but you have to do enough. You can't quit too early. And it's the art of the clinician to know when that moment is. Boom, we're done. And we let them go. And often we like people I like them to stop, go, and then come back because they want to optimize. Then people say, no, I still want to give the brain a break. I want it to have time to integrate and then come back in 3 months or something like that. Right. So a lot of kids that say would come in and do get rid of ADHD or dyslexia or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the parents would bring them in like for boosters in the summer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can then I don't mind just doing 10 or 20 sessions. Like we could just do a little booster and just see where they're at and give them a little bit, like put them back on the right path. Mm-hmm. But many people will often do that. We would have families fly in in December and just hit it really hard in December. We do a lot of training and then come only in the summers, and the homeschool kids can come all year long. It's easy for them. Hmm.
Do you work with both kids and adults?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't help a child unless you help the whole family. Yeah. You have to change everybody.
Yeah. It takes one person to make that change and wanting to change for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any particular foods or nutrients that you recommend to your clients to basically enhance their brain function?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Animal meat, red meat. Okay. Number one, fatty meat. So grass-fed beef and wild-caught small fish. So DHA is a very special molecule that you can only get. It's an omega-3. We can't make it. It's essential for brain health. You must eat it. It's highest in wild-caught fish, things like sardines and salmon roe. So roe, fish eggs is the best source because there's no heavy metals, no toxicity whatsoever. So if you like roe and caviar, best thing. If you can get your kids to be popping salmon, it's kind of like they explode the oil. It's a very special form of the DHA in a phospholipid way that goes right into the brain. It's extraordinary. And all the studies are very clear. The women who ate the most fish when pregnant, they have the children with the highest IQs. So funny they tell women not to eat fish anymore because of metal. Yes. Ridiculous. So I'm not a huge fan of too much fish because there's microplastic in the fish. That's the only problem I have with it. So I'd go with the sardines. I would never use farm raised. So the omega-3 is critical. It's also very high in grass-fed red meat. So that would be grass-fed beef or bison. All bison and buffalo is naturally grass-fed. They're not allowed to farm them in a certain way. Extraordinary. So you can also throw like deer, elk, venison, that kind of stuff into that. It's all hunted wild meat and it's still a red meat. That's primary because it has every single nutrient, every essential nutrient the human body and the brain needs is inside of that. Super high in zinc, carnosine, choline, omega-3, all the B vitamins, every required amino acid and fat is inside there. Everything. It's the ultimate brain food. Oh, also oysters. Oysters I'm a big fan. It was very, very high in zinc, very low in toxicity. So you want protein and fat. So you want the food that has the fat in it already, so that's a big one. Those are
Yeah,
huge.
it's like back in the day when
Well, eggs, any eggs,
Okay.
any quail, chicken, duck, I don't care, fish, eggs.
Yeah. I was just trying to say it's like the northern Inuit people when they would eat nothing but raw seal or
Mhm.
whale.
Yeah, they're carnivore. All the Inuits, all the Siberians, the Taunts,
that was very
your
well known
healthiest
back in
tribes
the
on Earth,
day.
they're it's not back in the day. That's how they're eating right now. The primal tribal on Earth, they're all mostly still carnivores.
Mm.
A hypercarnivore is someone, any mammal that eats 70% or more, nothing but animal products. They're all hypercarnivores.
So what would you say to a vegan or a vegetarian person?
I'm sorry. Learn better. It's hopeless for them. I was a vegan for 12 years, vegetarian 14.
Okay.
I won't take any of them as patients. I won't even deal with it anymore.
Mm.
They should not do neurofeedback. It's not going to work. Their brains can't hold a charge. It becomes almost a pointless, it's sad. They've been programmed. It's awful. They are starving to death. You cannot get the nutrients they need. They don't exist in any bioavailable form in plants for what the human brain is. There is not a single, you know how many carbohydrates are in my body? The human body, you want to know what the carbohydrates are made up of? It's only 2,000 calories of stored glycogen in the liver and a little bit in the muscles. There is nothing here that is a carbohydrate. Mm. Everything you're seeing is protein, fat, and minerals. That's all you need. And you know what this is? You know what this is? That's animal tissue. My brain is animal tissue. Mm-hmm. It's cholesterol. Yes. So you know how hard it is? You know how hard it is to make a brain out of kale?
Yes.
You can't do it. Yeah. You can't do it. And the iron and the B vitamins, they're bio-unavailable. In addition, those plants bind. If you eat spinach with the steak, the spinach binds all the iron and you can't get it. So now it's pointless.
It's so interesting. Just the whole nutrition part of our existence, like there's so many I don't want to say misinformation, but it's just.
It is misinformation. That's 100% misinformation. Yeah. It's just,
drink
it's this.
your milk.
It's disconnection from nature. Yeah. It's just disconnection from, go to any tribe who doesn't have a TV or a phone or electricity. None of them are confused. Yeah. It's not confusing or interesting to them. They're like, they don't even understand. They look at us. It sounds ridiculous. Mm-hmm. They're also most of those tribes don't have a word for depression. It doesn't exist. They don't even know what that means. That's not the natural state. The natural state of the humans is happiness, joy, and connection. But you must be connected to the way we were designed. And humans are the only, lions look at us and like, listen, look at those fools. They have 47 books on how to eat. They're supposed to be the king of the jungle. They look real stupid. Why do you need 8 books and you guys still don't know what to do? Lions sure figured it out. Yeah. Horses know what to do. Turtles know what to do. Yeah. Everybody seems to know what to do but us. We need 18 books and 14 apps. Oh, I don't know. What does my app say? Should I eat now or not? Is it my fasting window? Are you guys serious? Yeah. You've turned eating into you need an app? Yeah. No wonder you're tired. I'd be tired too. Yeah, there's so much to it. Like you said, it's like we are bombarded with so many advertisement, so many, like you said. It's brainwashing. Absolutely. But that's a choice. It's Absolutely. A choice. I haven't owned a TV in 30 years. Y'all choose to put TVs in your house and turn them on. Mm-hmm. You don't need one. I'm fine. I haven't had one in 30 years. Why do you need one? I'm like, I think I've done okay. I seem to know what's going on well enough. Why do you need to know what's going on across the world anyway? Yeah. Do I really need to know? Do I really need to know what's happening right now in Palestine? Yeah. How is that helping me? Yeah. I would say it's causing women to have completely fried nervous systems. and spiraling them, making them feel powerless, victimized, out of control, weak, sad, depressed. We never used to know what was going on outside of the 150 people we spent time with.
Mm-hmm.
We never knew that. Why do you need to know? We've gotten a little bit crazy. 24-hour news.
Information overload.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what happens. And this is where anxiety happens. This is where the turmoil within yourself, that's where things kind of rattle within yourself. And then you don't know where to go in the way you're lost and
because you're disconnected. Chaos. You're disconnected from your inner self, your inner voice, your soul being, because it's supposed to be connected to the earth, but you're connected to, podcasts and earbuds and 24-hour news cycles. I mean, I know people have TVs in their bathrooms.
Oh, no.
It's not uncommon. In the kitchen, in the bathroom. I have a friend, I came to this house ago, you have 6 TVs and you live alone? Who needs that much? Well, yeah, and it's just constant news. And the news, there's nothing positive on it. No, it's by design. It's not, this is what they're doing. No. Their job is to keep you
on a loop.
Watching and you have to strike cortisol in people. So all that's doing is striking constant cortisol, constant stress. That causes inflammation, that causes destruction, that causes premature aging, that causes zinc deficiency, magnesium deficiency, right?
Absolutely, because you're in constant fight or flight mode.
Correct.
Yeah.
And people do it in the house and their little children are walking around and they wonder why those kids are having problems.
It's a one thing in my house where we have one TV and but we don't have news. We only have like Netflix and Disney for the kids sometimes where they want to watch something and like that. But it's I had that argument with my husband because he's like, I want a TV in my bedroom. I'm like, no, because our bedroom is a sanctuary. It's a place where we lay down and we're having conversations, or we even snuggle, or, you have that intimate, moments where instead of you laying there and you're just flipping the channels kind of thing, because you want to try to find a movie. So I put my foot down. I was like, nope.
I'm glad you did that.
No TV in our room.
Yeah. Very smart. Yeah, that's the feminine intuition, listening to what's supposed to be done. Yes.
That's it. So now going back to health, we were talking about food, and what can you tell me about hydration? Because I find that close to almost 90, if not 95% of humanity are dehydrated. So how important is to drink? Is it drinking water? Is it drinking Gatorades? Is it drinking water and salt? What's electrolytes? What's important? And how can people navigate through that? Because again, there's so many information about staying hydrated. What's your intake on that?
Most of the information on hydration out there is destroying people. It's wrong and completely ridiculous. So a healthy person is rarely thirsty and doesn't need to drink hardly anything. You don't get hydrated from drinking water. Okay, so let's start with that. The only water that actually will hydrate you, we have 2 that you're drinking, would be 2 categories, would be molecular hydrogen water, extraordinarily good at it, and structured water from nature, so like spring water that's coming up from a vortex, it's circling, getting structured, and it's sound and is infusing it, and minerals are infused in it. So it naturally has electrolytes. Now we can artificially reproduce that, in our kitchen, basically, by taking like reverse osmosis water and adding, minerals and salts and stirring it and putting it in sunlight or red light. And now we have structured water. You put sound on it. We have different machines. This thing I have structures water. I have 4 of these in my house. So this is structuring me right now. So my laptop and the lights are inflaming me and destructuring me and dehydrating me. That is rehydrating me. So I'm always doing things to battle the technology in my system, right? Because that's what's happening. So a healthy person And so by the way, the water you drink does not ever get inside the cells, except molecular hydrogen water does. So the water inside your cells, hydration comes from metabolic processes. It's called metabolic water, and it's a exclusion zone, completely clean water that doesn't have any poisons in it. How do you make that? The most optimal way to be hydrated is coming from fat, because the mitochondria would process the fat and make a lot of metabolic water. So you make much more water when you're able to process fats. You must be metabolically flexible and healthy to do that. That's a person that can go into ketosis and a ketogenic state very, very easily. They don't need sugar. They can use fatty acids like crazy to run and make energy, okay? And which then therefore makes water and keeps them hydrated. So people who are carb addicts and sugar addicts and alcohol addicts, they can't do that very well. So they must so they're not making that much water. They're extremely dehydrated. Hence, they will be thirsty more because their body's trying to find. And so that water then is what's moving, getting into the blood, the plasma, and the lymphatic system to help, and the colon, and stuff to push stuff out. But the more water people have forced upon themselves through this ridiculous drink 8 glasses a day, or even worse, the gallon of water a day nonsense, they're pushing stress onto the kidneys, which pushes stress onto the adrenal glands, which is your main organ that women, the cortisol, right, and adrenaline, that's its job is to make. Totally is causing adrenal stress, adrenal fatigue in women by forcing all this water. Now they're thirsty all the time because the kidneys have made a hormone in response to this, and so it becomes a vicious cycle. So like, I drink all this water and I'm thirsty, but you want me to stop drinking water, but I'm so thirsty. Because you're so thirsty because you keep drinking so much water, because someone told you to drink water when you were never thirsty. So you forced yourself into a process that you've deranged your hormones. Oh, yeah. Once again, not listening to nature, not listening to your system. Humans in the wild don't drink a ton of water. You will drink some, that's okay, because you'll be thirsty. There's reasons that'll happen, and you would normally be drinking water. All water in nature, the spring water, all has minerals in it. Mm-hmm. So you'd be absorbing those. But carbohydrate, the word says it, hydrate. They hold water. So people who do that, they do water. That's why one of the 3 signs of diabetes, it's so we have these 3 polys. You eat too much, you're hungry all the time, you're thirsty all the time, and you pee all the time. Mm-hmm. Those are the classic signs of diabetes. It's why so many diabetic patients have to get dialysis, because their kidneys fail. Why? Because you're too much water because of all the carbohydrates. Not smart. So no, it's very bad advice, and it's causing kidney damage. I think the number is something like 1.6 million people die every year from drinking too much water. Yeah. That's the number 1 cause of death from ecstasy. So when people take ecstasy, they will get really thirsty, and they drink so much water, they go into kidney failure and die. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
Not a good idea. Yeah. Very dumb. Yeah. Terrible. So how do you hydrate? By becoming metabolically flexible and not becoming a carb addict, and being able to go into ketosis throughout the day, especially at night when you sleep.
So again, to break that cycle of being carboholic, I guess you can call it, is to switch your diet to animal protein or animal fat.
That should be the basis. It should be definitely, should be at least 70% of what you're eating.
Yeah. And then for carbs, would that be some raw vegetables or some steamed vegetables? So what's the recommendation?
I don't think you need a single vegetable at all. There's no benefit to me whatsoever in eating a single plant. If you are like magically in love with them, fine. I think no grains whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Do you want some fruit or vegetables because you really like them? Okay. But you don't need them. There's nothing in there you need. There's not a single nutrient that is essential in any plant. None. You could live on steak. It's all in there. Every actual essential nutrient is present in red meat in the perfect proportions. Isn't that interesting?
It is. It is very interesting.
Not in chicken. I didn't say chicken. Everybody eats dumb chicken. I didn't say that. Humans don't hunt birds. Look at any primal culture. They are not eating a lot of birds. Birds are a lot of work for a very small return on investment. How many quail do you think they have to catch to feed 150 people?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. How many buffalo?
One.
Correct.
Yeah.
You see, much bigger return on investment. And killing a buffalo is easier than killing a lot of birds. Birds are hard to kill.
I love my red meat. I couldn't live without it.
I'm just saying that's how you do it. I mean, and you have to be, the stats in America is that 88% of Americans are metabolically unwell. I'm one of the 12% of this entire population that can flip between sugar and fatty acid I'm metabolically healthy because my numbers are in that line. That's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your body is pretty adaptable.
I mean, I would hope, that the human body is very adaptable. A normal one, yes. But
do you have any success stories from your patients that you could share with us?
Sure. I have a few favorite ones. So I have one young man. He's one of my favorites. Came to me schizophrenic, and family brought him to me about 23, 24, 25, something like that, living at home. He looked and smelled like a homeless person. Mom was a school teacher. Her husband, I believe, he might have been a school teacher he was a truck driver. That's right. So he was a truck driver. Mom was a school teacher. They had 2 other children. Everybody was okay. This young man, paranoid, schizophrenic, lots of hallucinations. He looked awful. His body odor was so bad that my staff sometimes would have to run out of the office because a couple of them threw up before. It became a thing. We had to schedule it very specifically so he wouldn't offend I had to be careful about it because I wanted to care for him, but I needed him to not scare all the younger children. So, Mom got it, So long story short, lots of changes I had to do, lots of testing, lots of different things. We did lots of neurofeedback, effectively, completely, I'm never allowed to say the CURE word. He is one of many, many dozens of schizophrenics I've done this with. In the last communication, I remember they came in, the whole family, we got him all clean. He is full-time employed as a truck driver, married with 2 children. Never had a problem again. So that's very common, by the way. Actually, not hard to do. And I was trained by Dr. Hoffer, Carl Pfeiffer. It's a Canadian. Everybody should know who this guy is. I hate that they're erasing him from the internet. Another one, young man, OCD, suicidal ideation, same kind of age, he's living with the parents. And I've used him as a case study in courses and continuing ed. He's one of my favorites as well. One day I think I want him to work for me. So he's still here local in Atlanta, and he's super into health coaching. He's managing a place, but OCD eliminated. He's happy now. He had never dated, never been in love. He was just trapped in the OCD and the suicidal thinking. And he's one of the most incredible human beings, but he was riddled with guilt of I'm ruining my parents' life. And, there was that, complete remission, happy, just, married, bought a home, I just get the check-ins. Another young boy, he's another one. He was, what was he, 11 or 12, Chris, when he started. The phone call was, he's been arrested by the Atlanta police. He was taken out of the classroom for defiance. He stole our car. He stole the credit cards. He's been oh, wow. 11. I was like, okay, let me see what I got. And he also was adopted. That was significant, from Vietnam. His parents were white and they were lovely. He went from being in handcuffs, taken out of school and being threatened he can't come back, stealing their car, stealing their credit cards, to he's now at an Ivy League school, and he's the most incredible human being you can imagine. And it didn't take much. This little boy was incredible. He, on his own, I did his labs. I showed him his brain. I said, this is what I'm going to need you to do. He had a Coca-Cola pop addiction, candy addiction. He overnight said, fine, I'll stop doing it. And he basically wanted to have proved. I showed him the zinc and the everything, like, and he proved it, and he got it all. And the pride he felt in 3 months. And his family was saying, thank you. I said, I didn't do anything. He did it. I said, Chris, this is all you. Look at what you did. So he took ownership at 11 years old and autonomy over his body and his health. And that was not easy to give up Coke and Skittles, what I was asking him to do. And he did it. He said, I'll do. I said, and when I came in, they go, he just gave it all up. I'm like, seriously? I mean, I thought I was going to like pull teeth for like 2 months. It was incredible. You know, so I would show him. I said, you want me to show you? I showed him the lab. I showed him the brain maps, and to watch his face. I'm like, you did that. I'm like, you're not broken.
Wow.
That's my job, to tell him nothing's wrong with you.
Yeah.
No ADHD. You're not oppositional defiant disorder.
Yeah.
No. He's deficient in B6 and zinc, and he's inflamed. We can fix this. Okay? Give me 3 months. Hold my beer. That's it. They've never needed me again.
I love these kind of stories.
You know,
love it.
So it's not even, it's not that hard.
No,
it's really not. It's not. I'm not magic. I'm good at what I do, but this is not that hard. If people just would invest in learning,
it's the investment,
like
the willingness.
Yeah.
It's this, I want that change. I want the change for myself, and I want the change for my family, if you do have a family. So what would be the one key piece of advice you would give to someone who is looking to enhance their life or their health?
Well, gosh. I would start, it's all over the place with this one. I mean, it depends on the age, what we're doing, their life, their health. I mean, a health issue is a disconnection from your soul self. So that's a whole nother conversation to understand that you're a soul just embodying, you're borrowing this physical avatar. And I treat this is a temple. This is a sacred altar. And until we get people to understand and to learn that, and if they're not knowing how to love themselves and take care of themselves, that's what I need to work on. Then what in their unconscious script makes them feel they deserve to be devalued and mistreated? And why are they doing it? So learning to love and nurture and take care of yourself, to parent yourself as an adult, is the most important thing. If they don't have pictures of themselves, like I got pictures of myself as a child all over my house because I'm her mother now. I'm responsible for her now. My mother did her job, and it's up to me now. If I have any wounds inside there, I got to handle it. Okay. So it's learning to love and nurture yourself. So as soon as I get that part in the unconscious handled, then the behaviors naturally become kind. You must be kind to the self. So I'm not sure why people think eating brownies and a Frappuccino in the morning is a kind thing to do to themselves. They know it's not. Okay. A lot of this confusion is because people, a lot of times there's a lot of shame and a lot of guilt, and they don't treat themselves well. They're very accustomed to not having feeling good. And so they've become addicted to the neurotransmitters of anger and resentment or rage. So there's a lot that goes into that. So I would start with at least basic self-loving, some self-love behaviors. And one of the most important things, we start off with mother's milk. Like, food is love. And to say it's just fuel you sound like you clearly never had a baby. Like, I breastfed somebody for 3 years. That shit is not fuel. It is connection and love and creation, So I would start, people have to eat. They're going to eat, right? Start with the most nutrient dense, satisfying, foods that are going to feed the system and decrease cravings. And that is meat and eggs and fish and the fats that go with it. Butter, tallow, cooking that, natural stuff that's not fake, that wasn't made in a factory, right? Canola oil is made in a factory. Don't use it. Olive oil made in a factory. Don't use it. Okay. So go with as simple as you possibly can get. And just start nourishing yourself, and just doing that resets the system, and it's easier to make better choices when you have enough nutrients. So you can make dopamine and GABA and serotonin and acetylcholine. When you have enough things, it becomes easier. Like, oh, when you're less inflamed, you're less inflamed. Like inflammation really is a physical thing and a behavioral thing. You can tell when someone's inflamed, like, damn, why are they so irritated? Well, maybe they have Crohn's disease. That's why they act like that, because they are literally on fire. You know, we all know people's behavior change dramatically after traumatic brain injury. So post-concussive syndrome and traumatic brain injury personality changes, very well known and well documented. Nobody argues with it. We all know, oh yeah, that's because well, why don't you see that a brain on fire with Pop-Tarts and brownies and 4 Tylenol is the same thing? It's the same thing. You know, you can't give your kid Oreos for breakfast and be shocked. They can't pay attention, or they're angry. What else did you expect? They've been poisoned. Yeah. They're irritated. Yeah. Why don't you stop poisoning them? So I would start with that. I mean, that's a complex. I mean, it's, you know, take one of my courses. How about that? You know?
Yeah, no, that's a great advice. And I think, again, people really need to look at, you know, what it makes you feel good, what makes you, I mean, yes, having that Frappuccino sometimes maybe makes you feel great.
I feel good isn't really necessarily, that's not right now, because cocaine feels good. Right. Heroin feels good.
Switch to
porn
black
feels
coffee.
good.
Have that black coffee with maybe butter or MCT oil inside, and see the difference, what it's going to do to you, to your brain. Everything's going to shift. You're not going to have these cravings. So I like
And I would just say also hire a professional if you need help. I mean, nobody expects you to know how to do your taxes, fix your car, fix your roof. I mean, I don't understand why people are like, well, just hire somebody who knows what they're doing. I mean, like, there comes a point, it just sounds stupid. You walk into someone's house, you go, are you trying to do the plumbing yourself? You have no idea. What are you doing?
Oh, I have no idea.
You know, like, but people do that with that. They're like, they think they're just going to figure it out on Google. Like,
you're right. And especially
good luck with that. Yeah. And now you wonder why it's work.
I 100% agree with you on this one, because again, when it comes to your own health, there is so many information out there. Like we were talking about earlier, being vegan, being carnivore, you know, being paleo, being keto, being this, and there's so many things are throwing. We can get seriously overwhelmed. But I like your theory of stick with one thing. Focus on that. Eat your meat, eat the fats, and see the difference. See how your body changes. Right? Yeah. So
at least just eat that first. And then if you still want some of that, then like you're going to eat less of it, which is good. You know what I mean? Like, get what you need first, and then everything else is an extra. Then you feel like, I don't even want it anymore. Good. Great. Like, eat that, you know, like, let's get I don't ever take away, especially with children. I don't take anything away. I always add to. Like if they're doing, like, I still don't even take the Coca-Cola. Okay, great. You have to eat all of this first before you can have any of that. You can still have it. You're like, oh, I'm like, no, I'm not taking it away yet. They'll naturally get rid of it themselves. Because so if I have a kid that's drinking 6 Coca-Colas a day and they go down to 1 a week, I'm winning.
You're right.
And I didn't have to take it away. I'm not the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now if I have a yeast infection, if I have something, I'll get in there stronger. But you always add to before you take away. Nobody likes anything. Nobody wants their toys taken.
Right. Right.
That doesn't work.
Take that away from you. You're right.
So at least get the nutrition in, at least get the hug in, at least get, you know, the warm embrace with the nutrition, you know.
Okay, well, Stephanie, is there any other final thought you'd like to share with us?
No, just thank you so much for, you know, your mission to, you know, help one person at a time. We need as many voices out there trying to bring the message. So I appreciate being a guest. And, you know, if any of your people want information, my website, drrimka.com, has courses and how to get to my social media or any of that stuff. And I did say, let me be clear, we do take patients. I take neurofeedback patients, ILS patients. We do a remote all over the place. I actually can do things. What I meant was probably like some of the hard people want to come to me with very complex cases. I can't take everybody. Right. So, but we take neurofeedback and ILS and trauma, TRE, and other things like that. Because I have lots of people under me. It's just sometimes everybody only wants me. And I'm like, that's not how it's going to work. I cannot be the only one you talk to. That's just never like, you will get me. But I kind of come in just for little pieces, and you have to work with the people on my team. And obviously they're hand chosen and trained by me. So I trust them deeply, and they get my coaching and my training. I'm the one that am teaching and developing them. So they know what I'm going to say. You know, if they don't know, they can ask me. So I'm still the one reading the labs. I'm still the one reading the brain maps. I'm still picking the protocols. I'm just not spending as much face time with every patient. So I just want people to understand that.
Okay. No, perfect. Yeah. Well, I definitely have all the information on the bottom, and if people want to reach you, then we'll have all your social media and your websites and everything. So Stephanie, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time as well. And hopefully we can connect next time.
Thank you.